G'day, guys. Welcome back to the Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate. I'm your host, Mark, and my co-host or host, Britsburgh, Owen. We haven't got our banners up because you know what? I don't. What? How do you start a podcast? How do you start a podcast? How do you do it? I don't know how to start. That was crazy. We didn't
After
play.
that,
We didn't.
Mark, I don't blame you.
Offensively speaking, we didn't play very well the whole game until the last drive when there still was like, hey, what's going on? And they finished like that, but they got the W, man. How are you feeling?
Oh, yeah, just I don't know. It's like a surreal feeling. The defense were massive, absolutely massive today, and Cam was amazing.
Oh,
Um,
mate.
Cam was just immense. He was a one-man wrecking crew. But the offense, like you said, Mark, the offense were pretty poor all
Very
game.
poor.
And I think that comes down to, which I'm sure we'll talk about a couple of factors as to why. But just season's still alive, Mark. We're still alive. We're still in
it,
there.
mate.
Still in it.
Everything went right today. The
Yeah.
Jags won. So the Jags beat the Jets. They got a loss there, right? The Patriots lost. The Titans lost too. Okay. We need the Jaguars to lose once. Would be fantastic. If Texans can beat the Jags next week, that'd be great. But it's going to come down between the Jags and Titans for the division. So that needs one of those needs to lose, right? I think we have a chance. Then also, I think if the Jags win out, we're stuffed. Need the Jags lose one game at least. We also tomorrow we have the Green Bay versus Dolphins. We need the Green Bay to win so it knocks them off, right? So for a chance. There's still a chance, man.
There is still a chance. You're telling me there's a chance?
And it's a slim chance. And you know what? I don't care if we get knocked out of the playoffs. I don't care. Today is all about the moment that is Franco Harris. And yes, they didn't play their best football. It wasn't their best, but I don't know. I wouldn't play my best football either if it's cold, if it's minus 20 degrees.
And it's snowing constantly.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to play my best football in December like that.
I don't know whether, obviously, I don't think you guys have snow down there, but like I used to play rugby back in the day when I was younger, at school and university, and tell you something, when it's snowing and it's cold like that, trying to hold on to a ball is no, it's like trying to grab a bar of soap. It seriously is. So I've got the utmost respect for Muth, for Pickens, for all those guys catching that ball tonight, and Najee doing a hurdle with the ball whilst trying to hold on to the ball. The utmost respect, because let me tell you guys, as someone who's played in the snow and the freezing cold, okay, rugby, slightly different sport, but the ball is like a bar of soap in that weather.
I don't think we can put down, the criticism of the team. Sure, they didn't play their best football on the offense, but the defense played up, right? But that game was never going to be a high-scoring game, right? I think if you want to compare that game to the Bengals game at the start of the season, it's two different elements, right? That, to me, they snuck out with a win, and there were some frustrating drives for sure. There was players going back. It was Kenny Pickett throwing the ball very high, But this, to me, is getting better, and they got the W. And you know what? I think we will complain if they lost, and we complain when they win. So I don't really care. This is the moment, I think, it was really for Franco. And you know what? We've got 2 games to go. We can go into the offseason and compare everyone then. But right now, we got a W. That's it.
Exactly. And we're getting back close to 500 again, 7-8 now. 2 games to
do you think the Ravens will be easier? I think so.
Yeah, I do. The Ravens are shocking. The Ravens are a poor team, man. I mean, you just got to look back to how they played against the Browns. I mean, the Browns are awful. I mean, the Browns lost to the Saints today, and that quarterback of theirs continues to struggle, which I'm finding personally very funny. But at the end of the day, the Browns are a very poor team, and they beat the Ravens and made the Ravens look fairly awful. And going back to that game that we lost to the Ravens at Acrisure, that was a winnable game. That was an eminently winnable game. The Ravens have clinched a playoff spot today, apparently, but they'll be one and done. And they will be one and done in the playoffs. Even if Jackson comes back, because they are offensively very, very poor, very poor.
You know what though? I'm going to take off my if I even have an analyst headset, or if I'm going to take off my critique headset. That game was just it's a fan game. The fans don't care how they won in the stadium, right? No. You just got to get the W done. And I think, I'll tell you right now, in the history of all things, we would have been so upset if they lost, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? Like, if we had the loss, I would be honest, it'd be very hard to go through this podcast. I'm pretty exhausted now. But it's like, if we see our team lost and it's like, oh, the season's over, but we're still in it. I don't care what anyone says. And anyone say that the tankers out there. And you know what? The tankers are like, your draft pick's going further and further away.
The tankers are crying, man. The tankers are upset tonight. they'd be
Well,
gutted.
they won it for Franco though. They won it for and I thought the really nice thing of the Rooney's there and putting him on display, and this 1972 team came out, right?
Yeah.
Those fellas too, man. I thought everything was special. Everything was nice. I thought the Raiders played some good football too.
They did, yeah.
I'll be honest, I thought they played some good football.
I've got to say, even I teared up a bit at halftime seeing that celebration of Franco's retirement of his jersey, seeing his son and his wife there. It's just, that was really choking for me. That was like I said, I teared up there. I found it hard.
At the end of the day, it's for this bloke. That's what it's for. The win's for that bloke there, Franco Harris. The win is for this bloke here, Franco Harris. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Dan Rooney is one of the finest humans, one of the finest and most human beings ever known. He did so much for the community, and the win is a win is a win. And it's so nice to see. And I'm actually like, that was a roller coaster because I wanted to win so bad. They ran the football really well. I thought they could have used Warren more. And there was plays where we got the ball back twice with interceptions. We didn't do anything with it. That kind of sucks, right? But then the GP pass, mate. The Pickens pass.
Pickens had a good game, I thought, again today. He looked secure. He was battling for yards after catch. He wasn't taking any nonsense off the defenders. He looked
5 for 5, Owen. 5 for 5, 57, 11.41 TD, 25 longest.
That was wicked. He had a great game, and Muth came up big as well. It seemed to me that the moment they started going to Pickens and Muth, the offense looked better. It looked better moving the ball. It looked more mobile, looked more of a threat, because Jonte, don't get me wrong, had a decent game, but I just think Muth and Pickens are so much more of a threat because they get yards after catch, which Jonte doesn't tend to do. They've got physical strength to be able to battle for yards after catch. They're more of a headache to try and stop. So I just thought that they looked so much better when they were going to Pickens and Muth more.
Yeah, I still think though, like I know you're not really high on Deontay, but I thought he played a pretty okay game. I thought there were certain times where Kenny Pickett was throwing high, right? But like I said, when you factor everything into it, like you can't judge the high pass or the deep arm or whatever because it's like snowy football, man.
Yeah.
And it came down to 13-10, and they came away with an ugly win. This was a very, very ugly game. Looking at it, right, all over the shop, right? But let's give a shout out. Can we just talk the rest of the time about Cameron Heyward?
Oh yeah, Cameron Heyward.
Mate, was he fired up or whatnot?
I made a comment on my stream at the start. That after that first drive where the defense sucked and stank the joint up, and I think it was the second Raiders drive where he pretty much single-handedly stopped the drive. I just said on my stream, I think Cam's decided that since the defense suck, he's going to just do it all by himself tonight. And he did. He just seemed a one-man wrecking crew. He had the 2 sacks. He had the pass defense when he put his big paw up. Yep. He slowed Jacobs down a few times and for other people to hit. He seemed on a mission tonight. Cam Heyward really did.
Cameron Heyward, 7 tackles, 4 solid, 2 sacks, 3 tackles for a loss. So they're different, right? I'm pretty sure they're different. 2 sacks is different to tackle for a loss. That's 5 times in the backfield. That's 5 times, and pretty much tackle for a loss should be a sack. It's same thing as a sack. Yeah. Pass selection 1, then QB hits 2. Cameron Heyward was the guy. Now I said on my live stream, if I ever get that jersey, the throwbacks with the Franco Harris emblem, I'm probably going to buy Heyward because that was his game. That was his game.
Heyward was the MVP of that game. He was absolutely superb, and he just I don't know. You saw him at the end. He was looking very emotional. He just, to me, decided tonight that this was his game. And I know he's been talking all week, and I think people know how much Franco meant to him and how close a relationship he and Franco had developed over the years. And I think that really got to him, and he sort of bottled up all that emotion and put it out there on the field tonight. And it's kind of a poetic way, isn't it? Tonight was actually all about the Heyward family as well, because if you think about it, Cam ran out with a 32. Cam had an amazing game, and Connor Heyward finished it.
Oh, that was amazing, dude. He could have ran away with a bit longer, but I'm glad he went down. I like the way they're using Connor Heyward too, but like I want to see it early, but that was a great way to finish, right?
Yeah, it's great. Connor and Cam really did start and finish that game.
I got a question for you. What does this mean for next year? We always talk about the tankers, the haters, we need to lose out. Save Kenny. You don't play Kenny again. I don't understand it. You play to win the game. You play the guys who are healthy. You play your team. You play your best players to win. What does this win mean for next year, do you think?
I think it's a huge building block. It's a win ugly win, isn't it? And that's what it's about. It's not just about going out there and blowing teams out, which would be lovely for the Steelers to actually do once in a while. So we're not sat there having a heart attack with 2 minutes to go. But it's showing that that there's something really solid to build on there. There's real solid building blocks in this team. You look through this team now from offense through the defense, and there are solid build foundations there to build a successful franchise on. You look on the offense that has been decried and has been put down across the season, but Pickett didn't have the best game today, and I think that's partly down. I think that's down to a few factors, like, for example, he's coming back from concussion, like for the fact that, it's bloody hard to throw a ball that's wet and wet, windy, in the snow.
Windy. Okay. Sorry, I got a bit of a scenario here. So we all hate on Pickett. Let's look at what Derek Carr did. Derek Carr, 16 for 30, 174, 5.8, 1 TD, 3 interceptions, 3 sacks. Kenny Pickett, 26, 39, 244, 6.3, 1-1. He played better than Derek Carr.
Carr was awful tonight.
He played better than Derek Carr. So as much as you want to hate on Pickett, he played better than Carr.
Carr was poor, very poor. Yeah. But Carr always is poor in cold weather.
Exactly, but they're playing in cold weather. So to sneak away with that win, I think is fantastic. Mm-hmm. I think they probably should have run the ball more, but of course, that's their first win, by the way, too. Their first win, Steelers this year, that they got, that they allowed the team to score first. That's their third win at home. There are so many factors here, guys. You know what? If you make the playoffs, you're not going to go anywhere. You're going to lose the Chiefs. I don't care. That was a great win. I would love to show that win to my friends and family in that last pass and go, who was that? That was George Pickens.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
Mate, it was unbelievable. I don't know how. Also, you got raided today, didn't you, by Tom Grossi? I heard.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, Tom Grossi raid. That was cool.
All right, let's go through some comments. So if you guys got any comments in the chat, you want to leave any one sentence statements or whatever. Gene says, "Ho ho ho, Merry Christmas, 100%. It's my Christmas now. We'll get out of here in about 10 minutes time for Owen to go to sleep." Brandy and KG says here, "George is the best. Amazing win." That's it. Major run to this game. Yeah, we stopped Jacobs, didn't we? After a while.
I don't know what was his stat. His stats were very poor. I mean, for someone who is the leading
44 yards, 2.9 average. They stopped him after a while.
Yeah,
longest 11. So
50. Only again, they hold a team to under 100 yards, 58 yards rushing.
Yeah, you know what? Here's a good point. Here's a really good point from Todd.
Todd.
I've had a few beverages, mate.
He's Swedish. Todd.
Todd here says, "I'm beyond nitpicking." Yeah, exactly right. Why nitpick in that kind of game was nice to see. I saw Allen throw an interception today, and I was like, that was the worst pass I've ever seen. It's gonna happen. This game's gonna happen. They won it. They came down the middle to the last minute, a game-winning drive, and the Muth catch. Moving down the field, and they get the pick by Cameron Sutton. Woo!
That was great. Read the game so well, didn't he? Read the game so well.
Man.
Great catch. But I think Pickett. People can hate on Pickett. People will hate on Pickett after this game. I mean, unfortunately we have a toxic element to our fan base, and I think that's unfortunate. And none of our guys, obviously, very positive, our guys in the live chat, but there is a toxic element. They will hate on Pickett, but just to say again, at times he did look very bad, but you've got to remember the weather condition. You've got the weather conditions. You've got the fact that he's just come back from concussion. You've got the fact that that on the positive side, that at times he made some great decisions. He went through his read progressions and then made sensible decisions when those reads weren't open. He stepped up and ran, but kept his eyes open downfield to throw downfield when he was on the run. So there was a lot of positives there. And you've got to remember, this guy's a rookie. He's still growing. He's still learning. He's still finding his way in the NFL. And today was another step forward for him. And yes, on the whole, performance, he wasn't great, but it's a step forward. He's going to learn more from that game tonight than a lot of people will realize.
Here's the question. Who's your game ball for the offense? And in the chat, guys, who's your game ball for the offense? Who are you going to go with?
Muth.
Yep. Okay.
You know what? Muth was immense. I think he just, again, I mean, Muth's stats tonight were, what was his stats? Here we go. Muth was 7 receptions, led the team in receptions, 66 yards, 9.4 yards per catch. And he was just always there, wasn't he? He was kind of like you know, Heath used to be there for Ben. He was there for Kenny. He was like a security blanket. So I'm going to go for Muth. But I'm okay. I'm slightly biased. Muth is my favorite player. So I'm going to go for Muth.
Shout out to KG, and also known as Brandy. Says KG says, or Brandy says, George is a ghost. If Brandy and KG, if you're listening, I know you're there. You know there. Brandy also has a Raven partner who wouldn't allow her to watch the game. She says, you know what? I'm going to watch the game, mate. I'm watching Steelers football. Right? I know you're getting there. We're getting there on. We've got 10 minutes away. We're getting there.
I'm okay, man.
We're getting there. But love how George appears out of nowhere. If Brandy or KG starts this rumor and says George is the ghost, that's a great nickname. Imagine that nickname came out of nowhere. The ghost. I like that. That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
That is
cool.
That's cool.
We'll do a video on it, Mark. We'll start a trend.
The ghost is being traded to KC. You've heard it here first on Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate. No, we won't do that. Listen, guys, I'm going to be controversial. I'm going to give it a Pickett. I thought the game ball, if you're going to have one for the offense, I know it's crazy and he didn't play the best, but he went out there and won the game. Did he not?
Yeah.
Like he won the game with GP. He threw the ball when he needed to, right down the through the middle. Kaboom! See you later, mate. Through the slot. Mm-hmm. See you later. He won the game. My game ball is Pickett, but not by much. But still, I'm going to give to him. So it saved our ass for sure. Muth as well. Defense is. Oh yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. But you know what? I thought the offense played pretty subpar, but the elements were just like, oh, it's snowing, it's wet, it's crazy, But I thought Pickett handled himself near the end. I thought he, as a rookie in this game and coming back from concussion, it's almost like if he didn't go out for the Ravens game, he might have won that game, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as well, I think there was some slightly questionable play calls as well at times. Some of the passing short of the stick, some of the dumping the ball off behind the line of scrimmage, some of the pitches to Warren that really did set him up to fail, when he's got 2 or 3 Raiders players coming round on him and nowhere to go. So I thought there was 1 or 2 really bad play calls as well in there.
I want to see him go from this week to next week and maybe try and back it up as well. Also, game on the line, playoffs on the line. I want to see him go out there next week and versus the Ravens and really, progress even further. That's one of his highest yards, I think, 244. Threw the ball a lot, 26 for 39 because we're chasing time. The Steelers ran it for 27, and that's why we won by 3 because normally we're going to run it for 45, right? But let's go the defense. Let's go to Norman win at Pittsburgh Day. Man, I wish I had some cold right now. Let's go to the defense. Who's your MVP? We already know who it is.
I mean, yeah, it's got to be Cam, hasn't it? Cam Heyward.
100%.
With an honourable mention to Alex Highsmith.
True. You know what? I'm just gonna say Cam. I think Cam killed it. I think he just said because every time he bull rushed the offensive line, he pushed the man back. He did whatever he wanted to do. He just played football and said, you know what? Today's my game.
Yeah.
Got 5 tackles for a loss, basically 2 sacks and 3 tackles for a loss. Went out there, took control, and got off the field. Right? He did the best that he could do, and then near the end, our corners and safeties started to grab the ball.
Yeah,
right?
They did.
He played fantastic. Now, of course, TJ Watt was a bit quiet too, but I think his season is the way it is. He's not going to be an all-star. Highsmith played well. I don't know what's happening with Miles Jack and Devin Bush. I never see him. Do you see him?
No. There's kind of I don't know what they're doing.
Middle linebackers. I'm not too sure if they're coached to stand back 10 yards and allow the guy to run into him. I just don't know. I think Devin Bush has to go at the end of the season. Do you agree or not?
Yes and no. I think yes because we need an elite starting linebacker, inside linebacker. The only issue is I think there's more pressing needs there. So obviously the O line, the D line, the cornerback one I think is the biggest need on this team. If Bush could be got back for a cheap deal like a Terrell Edmonds style 1 year, then bring him back. But I certainly won't be paying big money for him. But I just think the problem that Steelers have got is there's a lot to do in other areas like O-line, D-line, cornerback. Possibly even add another wide receiver now. That Chase Claypool's moved on, because behind George and Deontay, there really isn't anything super talented.
What were your thoughts on James Pierre playing today? I thought he played okay.
He did all right. He did a decent job, and
he's played okay the whole year too. I think.
Yeah, I think he's done the right thing since getting benched at the end of last season. He's come back stronger.
He plays up. I think. Yeah,
he's come back from that, and he's kind of taken that in the right way, rather than kind of going, oh, they don't believe in me. This is not fair. Blah blah blah. He's kind of thought, well, okay, right. I'm going to come get better. I'm going to prove myself, and he has. And he's grown, and I think he's answered his critics in the right way. And I thought Minka again, his 4th interception of the year. I mean, that guy is just different class. And that was after, I don't know whether you saw on there was, I can't remember which I think it was when he was chasing the ball into the end zone. He ran past the goalpost. It was icy, and he slipped and fell right in his ass.
That hurts, man. That does hurt. Right on the old tailbone or the spine, whatever, for sure. What are your thoughts if we played Terrell Edmonds? Do we win this game even more?
Yeah, I think obviously
we do.
Yeah, because obviously I think Alex. Was it Darren Waller? Is it Alex Waller? Darren Waller.
Yeah,
came up with.
Darren. I think Darren Waller. Yeah,
he came up with some decent catches at times. To get first downs and etc. etc. I mean, so Waller 4 receptions, 58 yards, 14.5. I think there's some of those plays that get killed earlier if Edmonds is playing, because he would track Waller. He is the tight end killer on this team, isn't he? He's the guy who specializes in shutting down tight ends.
Matt Quinn says here, honestly, when I first saw Pierre on Devontae Adams, I was like, oh no, but he played very well. He did. What did Devontae Adams got? He got 2. Oh, wow. 2 receptions for 10 yards, 7.5. They might have, 2 targets. Wow. They took him out of the game. He got 9 targets and 2 receptions. Wow.
Yeah, it was brilliant. I thought Pierre did very well taking him out of the game, because, I mean, Hunter Renfrow was a bigger threat.
Oh, he killed us.
I know. But do you know what annoyed me was the fact that every time he got past the Steeler, he just did the same thing over and over again, and they didn't seem to. They seemed, I don't know, the second. What's wrong with our cornerbacks? Are they thick or something? But he just did a spin move, and it worked every single time.
I think, to be honest, besides Sutton looked like, Lynn Swan grabbing that pick was fantastic. I want to replay the thing over and over again, right? A great pick by Sutton, I thought Sutton got burnt a lot. I thought my mate, Trey Norwood, he's been playing that well this year. I'm not too sure what they're going to do with him, but I thought he got burnt a lot. I thought Levi Wallace got burnt a lot. Like, they just weren't, they're getting picked on pretty much. And the other guys, like James Pierre, was really targeting I think Devontae Adams too. He was really in their face and taking away. There's a few passes where Derek Carr threw it away because he was so close in coverage, or he's so man to man, and shout out to him as well.
Norwood was poor. I mean, he was obviously got sidestepped by Renfrow for the first touchdown. Like I said, Renfrow, don't get me wrong, is a decent receiver, but he's what we call in the UK a one-trick pony. He has one move and one move only, and it just irritated the hell out of me that no one seemed to be able to. He's going to do a spin move, so let him stand off him, let him catch the ball, hit him. That's how you stop him. If you get tight on him, he's going to spin you.
Here's a good point from Frosty too. Yeah, we're not really we're evaluating to a certain degree, but we pretty much. I'll say it, Frank. I don't care. I don't care if they play bad or whatnot. We're just saying, like, the game was the game. The game was Steelers versus Raiders. It was really cold. It was like Franco Day. You know what? If you're going to evaluate and nitpick, and I think someone said, might have been Todd said before, I'm over nitpicking, right? It's just, I don't know where it was. It was, I'm beyond nitpicking this moment. Yeah, it doesn't matter, right? We're at the point now where if we go to the playoffs, sure, we might get beat. But they're winning games and they're winning ugly, and there are some really flashes like James Pierre playing good football, like Sutton coming out of nowhere, like Arthur Millette coming out of nowhere. And I think sometimes when you're watching the game, you want every play to be successful, and it can't happen. You do ride the emotion of like, oh no, what 25-yard pass? What are you doing? Yeah. But then it comes back to Arthur Millette gets an interception. Minka got one too, and so did Cameron Sutton.
Yeah.
So I'm over it too. I just want to enjoy it. I want to enjoy the last 2 more games to go.
Yeah. It was a tough, gritty, typical Steelers football performance, wasn't it? Man. It was, I think, to be honest with you, I think Mean Joe was there, and I think Mean Joe probably would have enjoyed that type of game. That's kind of a Mean Joe type game, wasn't it? Gritty, fighting, scrapping for every inch, scrapping for every yard. That was just typical like Mean Joe style, I think. And I think he'd have loved the Cam Heyward performance.
What do you think about some of the fans might be on Tomlin's head about, going for the field goal with 40 yards out? Should they go for field goal? Should they have a chance? I believe they should every single time. You know what? I know he puts Chris Boswell in a bad position, but he's still Chris Boswell. If he hits that a bit cleaner, I think he gets it. I still have a lot of faith. Was he right in sending him out there, or should they have punted away, or should they had, gone for it?
No, I think he made the right decision, play course to go. Boswell's a good kicker. Yeah, weather conditions play a role in that. There's no point. It's like the commentators were saying on the international Game Pass, the game that I was, I think it was CBS. It was commentating on it, maybe, I think. But they were saying that 4th and 1, 4th and 2, go for it. But when it's 4th and 4, 4th and 5, it's a bit too far to go for it. So yeah, it's the right decision at the end of the day not to. And he made some positive decisions. I don't think the crowd were overly happy with the offense. Like, there was a lot of booing of the offense, particularly when drives stalled. But I thought Tomlin did a decent job tonight in toughs. It's hot. You know what? It's really impossible to evaluate a team's performance on a night like that when the conditions are
minus 5 Fahrenheit, minus 20 degrees, snowing, cold.
And the ball is getting wet and it's slippy and it's hard.
It'd be hard as well. It'd be like catching a rock out there.
Yeah, I know. And you can wear, you can wear gloves, you can wear stick mitts or whatever type of gloves. It's still a nightmare.
Imagine kicking that football if you're Boswell. Wouldn't be the same, right? In a summer's day, that is not the same kind. You're kicking pretty much a rock, aren't you?
Yeah.
So, but Frosty says here the 52, maybe you could have punted, but I still believe in Chris Boswell to do it. I really do. I think he's the wizard of balls, and he has a chance every time. Now, I prayed for him twice. He was 2 or 4 in those conditions. The only big thing is that the Steelers let it. It could have been 13-3. Would have been a great win for the Steelers. Still a great win now. But the Raiders went down the field on the first drive, and then they adjusted, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
So the first drive, they ran down the field, and what do we have in the score box? We have. They didn't allow. Here's the thing. This is what I love about the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I love about the fan base who can be sometimes overcritical. And we're saying it now because we know we're going to hear it. Mm-hmm. The Las Vegas Raiders scored 10 the first half. In the second half, they scored nothing. Nothing. Yeah. This is a great win. Huge win.
And also the fact that I think in the second half, I think I heard them say that they only had something like less than 50 yards of offensive production in the second half as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, yeah. What happened here? I don't understand. Do you remember seeing this play? Robert Strauss says it would be interesting to hear what Mason Cole said was upset about. I think he was pissed off because the guards were getting beaten, something like that. There's something happened to him. I don't know. Do you remember seeing that?
No. So what they said was that after one of the drives stalled, he came off the field. He threw his helmet on the ground because he was really angry, and Pat Mayer had to go across and calm him down. I think it was to do with the fact that the run game wasn't working and they were getting blown up a lot. I think he was getting very frustrated with the rest of the line. But yeah, he did apparently come off and he was really, really angry and had to be calmed down by the coaching staff.
Here we go. We have 13-7, the Immaculate reception game, and 13-10 today. So very, very close. And man, the elements were there. Guys, we're going to get out of it early today because it is my Christmas and I need to probably at least go outside for half a walk. I've been inside a little bit today.
And see your family.
It's all right. They're out of lunch right now. I saw them this morning. I don't know, dude. I am blown away. I am actually blown away with everything been happening. I don't know. It's just so emotional. I think it's really emotional with Franco Harris. I don't think we can just, it's hard. I think, to be honest, man, to see that happen. You want to see him go out there, wave the towel, and the whole 1972 team was there. You know what I mean? Like, what are your final thoughts on this game? We'll get out of here, man.
Just it's a great win in terms of the fact of the result. The performance wasn't great on offense. Defense was fabulous. Defense was outstanding. Take out the first drive, they were brilliant. But the thoughts have got to be with Franco and his family tonight. That was for Franco. That was for Doc and Dana, his wife and son, and the emotion and seeing grown people, grown men, grown women, and young fans in the crowd crying and upset at halftime, because of what this meant to Steeler Nation tonight. This means more than football today. This means everything, and it means because of what's happened with Franco this week. It's more than football, and it's just fantastic that we got the victory and we gave Franco the perfect send off, the perfect way to remember him.
Yeah, I said on BTSC Steelers touchdown under. I said to Matty Peverill, it's a wild ride of emotions, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had my birthday yesterday. I'm turned 33. I follow the Steelers. We don't want the season to end. Every time the season ends, we get a year older, right?
Yeah.
When we get a year older, death is inevitable. It's always going to happen, no matter what. Unless you got a secret pill. Owen, do you have a secret pill that we can stay alive forever?
Unfortunately, not.
So it sucks, man. We wanted to see Franco. It came out of nowhere, big shock. We wanted to see him celebrate, but like the team fought back. No matter how bad they played, like in their three quarters, they came back, and that pass to Kenny Pickett to Pickens. What do you think of that too? What do you reckon of that?
Great pass under pressure, calm, collected, great catch by George. You could see him doing the whole like this when he scored. It was just fantastic, and it's the future. That's another thing. It's the future. I think tonight's game encapsulates the past and the future, doesn't it? The past, obviously, Franco and all the guys that were there at halftime, and the future is Pickett to Pickens. That is the future.
I'm going to ask you one more question. This is more of like a, I guess a personal question, but like if you were a player in this team, right? Mm-hmm. If you were a player in this team, what do you think you'd be feeling after this win? What do you really think you'd be going through? Would you, of course, go have a shower, do the media, but what would you take away and be feeling from this game?
That's a good question. I don't know. I'd feel like, a tremendous sense of achievement that we've actually got a victory whilst not playing well, and optimism for the next two games, that we've got a team that can fight and win no matter what the conditions, no matter what the situation, no matter how emotionally challenging it is, no matter how physically challenging it is. We're ready for any challenge, and we're ready to show the world that.
Yeah, to me, guys, if I was a player in this locker room, I've been there, it's only pickleball, but I played doubles, and I've had my doubles partner, and I played a comp where we've been down at halftime. We were down by 9-1, and we came back to win 15-9. In this game, if I was a player, I would be walking around and I'd be shaking people by the hand. I'd be giving the look going, you know what? We're not too bad. We're actually not too bad. The Steelers are very talented. I would be walking around saying, guys like James Pierre, Cameron Heyward, I would be walking around if I was a player saying, you know what? We played pretty well today. Yeah, that was bad, but we came back and won. We won this game. The Steelers can do things. If I was Kenny Pickett, or if I was the punter or the holder, and my job was that, I would go up to Kenny and say, mate, you played really well. You should be proud of yourself. Yeah. This is one of those games where you knew that everyone chipped in certain points. Yes, there was lackluster times. There was bad times where the O-line gave a sack, or Kenny didn't do the right play, or whatever, or the play calling's bad. But they fought it out. They held the team to 0 points. And guys like Loudon in there, and guys are holding their blocks. I walk around there and go, we played pretty damn well. I would say that's a pretty big win. And Brandy and KG says here, we did this together. I would say this team played pretty damn well in the moments they had to go and get that victory.
Yeah.
You can say that the guys dropped it. Kenny couldn't pass. He passed high, passed that. Doesn't matter. If you look at it and watch the whole game, you go, you know what? This team can play. They just beat the Raiders.
And I think the other thing is the fact that, with the exception of Cam, you're right, no one was outstanding. No one stands, apart from Cam, no one stands out. Everyone else did their bit at the right time. Right. Minka came up with an interception. Sutton did. Mollett did. Pickett threw that pass when he needed to. Pat Freiermuth came up with receptions when he needed to. Najee Brett was there for receptions and runs when he needed to. Everyone did their bit when they needed to, without being particularly outstanding.
Even Chris Boswell missed a few, but he got them. And then Presley Harvin had some good punts too. I thought this game was coming down to, and we always forget, guys, Steeler Nation and fans around the world always forget the other team's going to play too.
Yeah.
And they played really well. I am super proud for the occasion that was for Franco. I'm super proud that the Steelers are now What are we, 7-8? Oh boy.
Yeah.
Two away from a chance. 2 away. All right, Owen. Thank you, mate, for helping me out here and being my co-host on the Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate. Thank you, guys, for checking us out. Merry Christmas to everyone. It is my Christmas day. It's been fantastic. We had the new year upon us as well. I think Steelers have a bright future for sure. I'm just really proud, to be honest, where they've been the last few years. I think that, look, it's not the offense isn't scoring 30 or 40 points, but I think they're playing with a bit of heart. And I think guys like Jalen Warren, these guys, Connor Heyward finished the day. I think, you know what, Cameron Heyward and Connor Heyward are going to shake each other's hand and go, we played pretty damn well today.
We did.
No?
We did.
All right, guys. We'll see you later. That's a wrap. Thank you, guys, for checking us out on Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate, and we'll see you later. As always, here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Let's go. Come on.